If your English answer feels dry, robotic, or textbook-like, then this video will completely change the way you're going to frame your answers in the English exam. So I'm P. Magashri and I scored 97.6% in my class 10 board exam in the first attempt. And in English, I scored 99 marks out of 100. So first of all, my health isn't so good today and my voice is cracking a bit, but I'm stuck in a busy schedule and I got time now only. So without any delays, let's get started. And also, please avoid the background noises if you hear any. Most students study English like science or mathematics, like mugging up the answers and memorizing the lines. But that's exactly why their answers sound dead. But your English marks mainly depend on how effective your writing feels. So, to make your writing feel effective and emotional, I'm going to share you a system you have to follow, and that will make you score really high in the English exam. Just trust me. So, in the first step, you have to read the chapter once but properly. Like, do not rush the chapter and don't read it like a child anymore. Just see it like a program and divide it into parts and analyze them. Like, analyze their characters, tones, themes, and then understand every single emotion and visualize the scenes in your mind. That will help you to, recap. And I read in such a way that there's no need for revision for me in the future for, tests, pre-boards, whatever it is. And then here are a few points which I wanted to tell you. You have to understand the character's motive, why character behave that way, hidden emotions, conflicts, and the message from the author, which I told you already. These are the main points you have to look for in the chapter. Step 2 is just deep analysis of the chapter, which includes character analysis, like the personality, their strengths, their relationships. Then it's about the tone or mood, like emotional, ironic, tragic, or nostalgic, whatever it is. Just make a note of it, and that's it. And then step 3 is making micro notes so that you don't have to read the complete chapter again when you have to in the future. I did is I made a note of the things which I told you, like themes and tones, character analysis, and I just read them, the character point and emotional moments and important keywords. And I was hoping to share you this point for a long time, that is, when you don't know which keyword to use in which answer, then just go to the examiner's perspective, like what would the examiner expect from you when you're writing the answer. For that, you should have analyzed the chapter very well. But the thing is, if you don't know which keyword to put in whichever question, just jump into the examiner's point of view and see, like, if you're correcting the paper, then what would you be expecting from the student? And that's how it works. That's how it literally works for me. And this is the most important point of this video, the step 4 and the real game changer. So in this part we are going to talk about keywords and power phrases, which I'll be explaining to you. And in this, I'm not telling you to memorize the things, but just making a note of them and using it your answers. This will boost your marks like hell. So the thing is, you're going to find impactful words, thematic vocabulary, and idioms, and expressive phrases and universal lines for each and every chapter, and make a note of it in the short note which I have told you about. And then you are not going to simply just make a note of it, you have to use it in your answers too. Like, just see it. My voice is cracking a bit, but just don't mind it now. So the thing is, I personally read a lot, so it's natural for me to write the answers in such a way that it includes all the things I told you, like impactful words, thematic vocabulary. They are not just complicated words, but just words which express your feelings. That's important. These things include like symbol of hope, deep emotional conflict, silent sacrifices, inner strength, and harsh reality of society. Cases are easy, but they make your answer feel instantly mature and well written. And that makes the examiner feel that the child has studied something deeply. So they will obviously give marks for you. And by impactful words and thematic vocabulary, then just don't think that I'm talking about something else that is like deep literature part, but that's just normal around if you read a lot of books. And I'm talking about fictional books, not subjects. For collecting these things, like the vocabularies and the expressive words, I use ChatGPT. It gives me specific words for the chapters, like I will show you them. And step 5 is about writing the answer so that it has an impact on the exam. Because usually I don't just write to write something, but I try to make the examiner feel something. That's the most important point. So I just don't write the answers blankly. I frame the answers and It has to be brief, it has to be expressive, and it has to make the examiner feel something. And I've been repeating this, that is to make the examiner feel, for the 100th time in this video. Just consider how important the point is. The next part is what I read before the exams, even the board exams. So the first thing is, I did not read the whole textbook before the exams or whatever test it is. I read the revision part, like I made a note of the things I told you and just revised them before the exams night. So that mainly includes the short notes, which also includes the character analysis, thematic keywords, and emotional points, and power phrases. The power phrases are nothing but the lines which convey the theme of the chapter. Just start it in the ending part, and it will just boost the effect in your answers. And this thing seriously saves a lot of time and prevents burnout. Just consider how good it is to prevent burnouts. And I have a few bonus tips, just tips which I had to share you. The first thing is, underline the key phrases which are writing in your answers, and maintain a neat presentation and use varied vocabularies, and don't overwrite unnecessarily. Make the answer be as brief as possible and stick to the emotion of the chapter. And while you don't have to practice answer writing, just read the answers of the topper or model answers, and you can ask ChatGPT for doing the work. It does the work really well. I personally use that only for everything I needed in English. And in the ending part, just let me read the draft of this video so that I don't miss out anything. FOMO. And yeah, this is part 1 of this video for the literature section. And for the for the unseen passage and the grammar section, I'll be recording another video so that it's clear. And just let me read the draft. So the first thing is, I read the chapter thoroughly once, such that there isn't any need for revision in the future. Then I analyzed the chapter based on the characters, themes, and tones. Then I took a note of them for later use and only used this notes for quick revision. Then, along with these notes and ChatGPT, I made another note of a keywords, which can convey most of the theme and the chapter also. And also, I collected phrases and idioms and general lines. General lines like all the glitters are not gold. You know what general lines are. And related to the theme of the chapter and use them in your answer. I'll give you an example in the end of the video, just wait. And then I made every effort to make my answer look emotional. Like the words will have real power or effect in the reader's or examiner's mind. And I made a super short version of this along with character analysis and read them before my exam and not the whole chapter again. And this saves really a lot of time. And in the fictional parts, I'm an English communicative student, so I'm reading notes of mine. The first chapter, Too Gentle of Verona by A.J. Cruden. And just remember the poets or the author's name to it, helps a lot. So the core idea or the summary of the chapter is, two young brothers, Nicola and Jacopo, work tirelessly in Verona, doing odd jobs. Though poor, they are honest and dignified. They are secretly saving money to treat their sister Lucia, who is suffering from tuberculosis. Their sacrifices and selfless love reflect true emotion values. You see, just this single paragraph includes a lot of thematic and expressive words. That's what is important. And the central theme of the chapter is about sacrifice, brotherhood, love, and responsibility, dignity of labor. And the theme words include sacrifice, responsibility, love, hard work, selflessness, dignity, the same thing again. And the tone is emotional, inspiring, and humanistic. How you make notes for one single chapter, and I just use this and nothing else for my board exams too. So you know what to do now. That's the system. Use this thing properly, because most of the topper do this, but they don't even realize that they are doing this, and you're not left out this time because you know what to do to score high this time. Just don't leave it by doing this for one and a few chapters and then blank. Don't do that. So that's all for the video. I hope you liked it, and my voice is not that good, so I'm ending this video now.